I have got my big reveal for 2016 for you. This is a veggie gardener's dream. It just doesn't get any better than this. I was not even going to make a video for you today, but I was just starting my transplanting, and it was just too good to not do. So I'm going to walk you down in here, and I'm getting towards the end of my daylight, but I think we're going to have plenty of light when I get up in there close. This is only one of my 3 gardens that I'm working in. I haven't even gotten to the one up by the house. I'm just going to start doing all my lettuces and greens up there. And I haven't gotten to this one yet, which is going to be all my tomatoes, cucumbers, zucchinis, and peppers. That's pretty much what I do in that bed there, full sun. But this one is my latest one that I built down here, and I just love this one. I put it up on the cement blocks with some tubs, and I can just sit on my little stool there and garden and video and commune with my plants. I just love it. So let me show you which ones aren't ready yet, and then I'm going to show you all these down here that are ready. I have the containers all open for you for the big reveal for 2016's vegetable seedlings. Okay, these right here these are the ones. I've got 2 trays that are not ready yet, but they're doing well. These are all my different varieties of sweet peppers. These are all my cucumbers. And as you know, if you're new to winter sowing or if you've been doing it a while, peppers, tomatoes, cucumbers, watermelons, and cantaloupes. Those 5 are like the last ones to show up. And this one is my favorite one, double yield cucumber. I'll tell you, that one just puts out so many cucumbers, and it's the first one that's always ready. So of all the things I've got left, which I'll show you the other tray, cucumbers are going to be next, peppers are going to be last. And then over here, these I have all categorized as melons. Some of these are seeds that I got from somebody else, and they are not looking like watermelons, so I'm really short on watermelons this year. I'm probably gonna have to buy a couple seedlings of those, but these are all my watermelons, different varieties, couple cantaloupes there, and these are all my tomatoes, and they're doing fine. I mean, I got some good sized seedlings in there. You can't really see, but most of them you can see. That one you can see. Good growth. Some of them are really small. They don't even have their first set of leaves yet. But I'm in zone 5B, northern Ohio. And that's how it is to grow tomatoes and also peppers. They're small this time. I'm on May 8th, 2016. And a lot of people in the group that are doing winter sowing for the first time, they think that there's something wrong if their tomatoes and peppers and melons haven't come up yet. And they're just perfect. That's Mother Nature. And when she wants them to come up is when they come up. Okay, so where do I start? First off, these trays have not been topped off yet. This is the first time I've used growing tubs or growing trays, which I absolutely love. They're about 8 inches deep. The soil's about 8 inches deep, maybe 10 inches. And it really compacts down, so I'm going to have to get all these filled up. But the first one I opened up here, these are all kale. All different varieties, mostly Dinosaur. And there's one called Vates. Is it Vates or Vates? V-A-T-E-S. I've never grown that one before, right there. But it looks kind of similar to the Dinosaur kale. And this one, oh, this one's Collards. I've never grown Collards before. But someone gave me the seeds, and I thought, oh, that's really good. They're in the cruciferous family, like the kale and the broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprout family. So anyway, those have just been opened about an hour. Now, when you start, I'm going to sit down here. When you open your plants for the first time, it's a shock to them. Now, these have grown up hardened. That's like the shining star of winter sowing, is that they don't have to be brought indoors, outdoors every couple hours, for 2 weeks, which is what happens when you have to grow them in the house. So these, excuse me, are very hardened, but think about it. Their entire life has been in this milk jug, and I just took off the tape for those of you that are brand new. This was taped closed with an open top for rain, snow, and air to get in, and I just opened them, and they've never been out in the air. So they're going to be a little shocky, and you'll find that even though they're hardened, you want to leave them in the container, just sitting like this open, for anywhere from 1 to 2, up to 5 to 6 to 7 days. Why such a big range? If you're seasoned, you'll know which ones can't wait. Oh, my flash just turned. Okay. If you're seasoned gardener, you won't necessarily have to do it, but for my beginners gardeners that I'm working with, I don't want you to have to make that decision. I just want you to leave them. So then in the nighttime, you just close them back up. You don't need to put tape on them. And yeah, sometimes it's hard. I've let mine go a little bit. You just kind of bunch them all together, they're fine. And then you stick them back in and just tip the top back. You don't need to retape them. And sometimes I just let them sit here and not even close them down. But if you think it's going to be cold and you have not hit your last frost date, boy, you get these covered. You get them back up, you get them closed back up, and then just throw a big piece of fabric or ground cloth over them for the night. But make sure they're not touching any of the leaves. You have to put sticks up to make sure that they're not touching any of the leaves. So you usually don't want to open your containers until you've passed your last frost date. Okay, so we got one more set of vegetables are not ready, and that is my celery. Those are looking fantastic, but they're not ready yet. So I have 4 containers of celery. I'll probably put those in a couple weeks. Okay, and now we get over to this bed. We got 3 beds, and we'll go through them. I just opened borage. I've never grown it. I'm not even sure what I'm going to do with it, but it's supposed to be drawing the bees to my vegetables, so I'm very excited about it. I'm probably going to take, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 separate plants, and I will keep them separate. I'm not going to plant this as a big hunk. Like you'll see some of the ones I'm going to tell you, they're better to plant the entire container, and some you want to split those out. So I will just tip that on its side gently through my fingers, let the plants go through the fingers, and then I will take each one, and I'm going to spread them throughout the garden. I'll have a couple of them over there, a couple of them up on the hill, and I'll spread them throughout here so I can draw my bees in. Okay, now these, they're looking wilty because it's not cold. It's a little cool. It's probably 50. This one is perpetual spinach. I've never grown this before. It says Swiss chard perpetual spinach. Those were a gift as well. And so some of these seeds I'm unfamiliar with. Once I get them ready to eat or, ready to transplant, I'll read up a little bit more on them. So anyway, that one looks really healthy. It's a little droopy because it's a little cold. Might be getting down below 50 right now, but I think they're going to be fine. This one is giant spinach. I had the hardest time growing spinach the first couple years. And I finally got good spinach last year. So I usually do Bloomsdale, but I thought I'd branch out. That one bolts very fast. And again, this looks wilty. It looked more dramatic a half hour ago, but I promise you, it is in good shape. I will separate these out, probably in chunks. Now that I look how intertwined they are, you can do it 3 ways, and you'll hear this many times until you've got it memorized. You can take the whole chunk and put it in the soil without disrupting anything. It's called Hunko Seeds by the developer of the method, Trudy Davidoff, who has wintersown.org. And she talks about just taking the whole thing out. Another thing you can do is say divide it in 4 or 6 and kind of just take a chunk here, and whatever you get, you get. And you put that chunk in over in the soil. And then the last way is you can individually separate them out. And I'll tell you which ones. Like, for example, the borage. That one I absolutely would individually do. Watermelons individual. Tomatoes individual. Peppers. Cantaloupes. What else? Anything that's zucchini and cucumbers. Those will always be separated out, not clustered together, not chunked, not big hunk of seeds there. Okay? I just put these in. And you can see, remember I've told you they can look like a train wreck when you first transplant them? I wasn't kidding. These were my winter sown sugar snap peas, and they just went in today. They're looking very good, a little bit wilty, but they've got to cling onto that fence there. These were my, those were also, and then these were right here. You can see they're more perky. Those were my direct winter sown sugar snap peas. They grew under a plastic cup right here. I actually put the seeds in the soil with the cup, simulating the milk jug. And you've seen videos on that before. So these look a little more, weak, a little bit spindly, but they're going to perk back up and they're going to cling to that fence. Within 2 to 3 days, they will look outstanding. So I've got along my whole fence back there, sugar snap peas for days. And they're all doing great. Okay. Oh, and here, this is my strawberry plant that came. I planted some alpine strawberry seeds from the Thomas Jefferson organization last year, and none of them came up. And then at the end of the season, I got 2. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? It's already got some nice runners, and I've got them all set to go. And I put fresh soil all around, so I'm going to get a lot of babies going there. So these 2 actually came up from those seeds. This will be their 2nd year, and I should get strawberries from those. Okay. This here are my evergreen bunching onions. I don't do bulb onions yet. I will at some point, but I haven't yet. I haven't even opened these until this minute. And these are ones that, let me look at those. Okay, that was fun. I dropped the phone in the soil. Okay, back to the evergreen bunching onions. Now these are the best ones I've had so far. These are looking really good. And I could go any of the 3 ways on these. These are bigger. They went in a couple weeks earlier. These went in 2/28, February 28th. These went in 3/13, and these were 3/13. Most likely, as I'm looking at those, I will take those. I'll probably break that in half and give them plenty of space. I'll just cut it down to half. I'll take some on one, some on the other, dig a hole, lay this on its side, and just, kind of squish the plastic, and they slide right out. Make sure they're dry. And then just put the half right in the soil. This one back here, these are bigger. I'll divide that in quarters. So the point is, you could take out each onion, but how tedious? No, I don't want to do that. And I don't know that they'll do as well. I'd rather not disrupt any of the soil around the roots. So that's why I always take the native soil from the containers with me when I move it over. So yeah, this one will go in half. This one will go in quarters. Okay, the next one is upland cress. I have never grown this, but is that not a thing of beauty? Look at that. And this tastes so good. Let me describe it for you. Oh, it's so hard to describe flavor. I'm crazy about arugula. It's in that family, that taste, kind of peppery, kind of sharp. So I wouldn't have a whole salad of this. Oh, now it's getting like hot in my mouth. Oh, wow. That's got a bite to it. So this would be something I would just sprinkle in my salad, but I really like it. I'm going to grow it again, and I'm going to let some go to seed later in the season. And here's some more of it. Now you can see that's a lot of busyness going on down there. I would take that in half. I'll just cut it right down the middle, chunk it, put some in one section of the garden, some in the other section. This one, probably 6 pieces. You can see how big that is. That was a vinegar container, which are one of my favorites. Yeah, I'll chunk that out into 6, down the middle, then 3 and 3. So then each little chunk, since it's got room to grow, will become much bigger than if I left it in the container or I left it as a big whole or even a half. So the more separate they are, the bigger they get. I mean, if I had the fortitude, which I do not, I could pick out one little water upland cress and put it, I don't know that one would do that well, but 1 or 2, they would actually grow bigger by being separated. So that's my cress. Here is my cilantro. I put a lot in already, and you saw I did a video on my big reveal of cilantro. I went crazy with cilantro this year. Look at this one. This is my Santo, which is slow to bolt, slow to go to seed. Look at that one. Absolutely beautiful. That one is called long-standing cilantro. This is the first year I've grown that. That's even a bigger leaf. I'm really liking that one. This one is just still percolating. I could take it out now if I wanted to, but I'm going to let it go another week or 2. And it's also good that it staggers. These were from last year, and they're garlic chives. Not onion chives, but garlic chives. I am in love with these babies. Put them in a salad, put them in salad dressings, in the blender, in the Vitamix, put them on baked potatoes, all kinds of things you can do with them, in stir fries. They have a very garlicky taste. And they came back, my first perennial vegetable. So I'm very excited about that. And I moved a couple of them because there was too much space between them. And the roots on these things, like this little bunch right here, has a root ball like this. So they are going to last for life. I think they just keep going and going, and then they're much bigger this year than they were last year. They were just little teeny couple sprouts. Same thing over here. Some of these were winter sown right here. I did a big reveal to myself this morning, and I think these little ones right here, I went ahead and just put them in, mixed them in, so they're all clustered. This next one here is ginseng parsley. I've never grown that before, but I love parsley. I'm going to see if I can get that going. That was in a soda bottle. I did not split that one out. I'm kind of in a hurry because I'm losing light. I could have split that one, but I left it as a whole. This one here, more garlic chives, and a cilantro seed got stuck in there right over here. Those are kind of pitiful. I don't know if they're going to do any better, but I'm going to leave that just closed like that, but not taped. I'm not going to transplant that one right now, maybe in a week or 2. Here are more garlic chives. What I've found, we're coming down the home stretch. You guys are doing great. I know this is long, but it's just so exciting. Let me make sure I don't miss anything. garlic chives are better when you cluster them. Like the first year I put like one seed, one seed, one seed, and then literally you just get this. And I thought it was going to turn into something big and a lot more were going to grow. Well, it doesn't. So put a cluster of seeds, cluster, just next year I'm just going to fill that thing with seeds. And then, in a couple of years, you're just going to have a solid bunch that's just filled with a lot of roots. These are the cilantro I just transplanted an hour ago. All this right here was from 2 milk jugs. I don't know if you're seeing all that or if you're seeing me. There you go. This one I put in quarters, so picture a pop bottle. I think it was milk jug. I just, and it's messy and tangly, but who cares? A couple might not make it, but mostly they will. And you want to get them standing up as best as possible. They will look like a train wreck for a day or so, but I've got them all in individual little chunks here. So I'm really pleased with that. And you can see my sugar snap peas back there. Those are the ones that were on all under the plastic cups. This is brand new 2 days ago, and they've sprouted already. Kid you not. I put new seeds in, and I'll just keep staggering that. Okay, this big whiskey barrel here, I had put garlic in, and they all tanked. And I have no idea why. I just was so disappointed that when I had this just, really good, high quality from Peaceful Valley, organic, individual, soaked them in kelp like they tell you to, everything. So anyway, I had like 50 garlic cloves in here, and they all died. I had some that did live. So I'm going to do zucchinis in here. Usually I do my zucchini back in that garden I said where my tomatoes are, but I like to mix it up, and I never plan my garden, which I know would make people like horrified, but on purpose, I like to just be creative and put things wherever I feel like on that day. So today I decided these are going to go in this big one. This is Black Beauty zucchini. That is not a dead leaf. That is the seed pod. Just hasn't fallen off yet. See that right there? That's your seed pod. Don't pull those off ever. This is Black Beauty zucchini. And look how healthy. They're super strong. 1, 2, 3, 4 there. 4 there. And 3 there. So for this size, I probably should not put them all in there. That's 3, what did I say, 4, 8, 11. 11 plants is too much for this. I'm going to put probably 6 and regret it immediately because they do get so big. If the soil's really healthy like this is, and I've got the right light and the right amount of sun, if I do it right, this will be exploding with zucchini. So safely 6 to 7, and then I'll put the rest in 5-gallon buckets. This one is my other favorite go-to zucchini. It's called Raven. And I grow that every year. It's dark black. I just love it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so you may see, I remember I told you you would never chunk these out or hunk them out. They would always be individual. So I don't throw in 20 seeds of cucumbers or zucchinis in a pot because I don't want to have to untangle them. These will be quite simple. See how clearly defined they are? And if it's a little dry, they'll just fall apart in my hands, gently pulling. And I'll put 1 or 2 in a 5-gallon bucket. Okay, last one. These are new for me. These are pole beans. Thank you, Sue, who sent them to me. I'm really excited about them. Look how healthy. They get all kinds of little sprouts and buds, and I have no idea where I'm going to grow them up. I'm thinking about putting them in this bucket and growing them up the fence, but I know they're supposed to go up. That's why they're called pole. They like to go up poles, but I'm only a 4-foot pole here. I might run them horizontally just to be a renegade. I don't know. So anyway, pole beans. I'm so excited. And then, I have a couple others down there. Dragon's tongue or something, or breath or something about a dragon. Anyway, this is the only garlic that did turn out. These were not winter sown, but they were just planted from that big batch of garlic I had. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do in that corner. I might put half the zucchini there and half in the other corner. So anyway, is this not a veggie gardener's dream? All these seedlings were almost free. The soil was from last year. All I had to do was top off my soil mix. It's actually not soil. It's mostly compost and garden, forest floor goodies, all of that happy frog soil you hear me talk about 10,000 times. I love it. So I had to top off everything. So you have to pay for your seeds once and then save them. Learn to save seeds and you'll have a free produce for life. So I will save seeds from every one of these. I hope you enjoyed my big reveal for 2016. Go down in the comments and let me know what you think. Are you willing to try winter sowing? And by the way, you can do winter sowing almost all year round. That's why I don't even always love the name, because it sounds like you can only do it in the winter. But you can do it in the spring, and they go really fast. Like in the winter, you put them in, and it takes like a month or two for the seeds to pop. But if you put them in spring, it's so warm now. We're getting, like that one I just showed you down there, in 2 days. The sugar snap pea came up in 2 days because of winter sowing. Everything's coming up really fast. So then you can have plants all summer long. You just keep putting more and more in the containers, and you'll have beautiful plants all summer. Then at the end of summer, for us here in North America, say in August, I'll do a whole nother crop with all these containers, fill them all up for the cold crops for my fall garden. So we call that milk jug sowing. Pretty much half the year it's winter sowing, and the other half of the year, maybe like from May to November, I'm calling it milk jug sowing. And you can use milk jugs, water jugs, juice jugs. What other kind of jugs? Some people use like flat containers, like salad and containers and that kind of thing. I don't like those because as soon as the seedling grows, it hits the top, and you just can't get good height. So juice, water, milk, and there's one other I can't think, pop. Those are my favorite ones that people give to me. Anyway, I'm excited. This is a great day in my garden. I know this has been long. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks so much for joining me and sending you much love from my garden to yours. See you on the next video.